click the pop-up register to win one of our 12 prizes.
4 fingers in the air, 3 brothers sell the 2 ponies in the barn, and the Sooners in the SEC.
That's the Ref's 12 days of football. Register for a chance to win at kref.com today. The Ref, the home of Sooner fans. Must be 18 or older to enter.
Mike Steele here for Lasher Home Comfort Systems, your trusted home comfort experts in the Oklahoma City metro area. Tim Lasher and his team have more than 130 years of combined experience. They recognize a significant number of homeowners live with inadequate home comfort systems. They specialize in diagnosing your home system issues while providing more efficiency and reducing your utility costs. As an authorized dealer of American Standard, Tim can service your residence or business. Call Tim and his team at 405-579-3113. Lasher Home Comfort Systems.
Does your business have data cabling or design needs, but you're not sure who to call? Wade Electric has been a trusted telecommunications installer in the Oklahoma City area for over 30 years. They are Bixby certified to install category and fiber optic cable, provide digital testing reports, and have an RCDD on staff. Call Wade Electric at 405-329-1940 today to find out how they can help you design and install the ideal data infrastructure system.
My name is Ariel. I moved to the U.S. at 19. I spoke no English and I struggled finding job opportunities. Everything I have, I owe to the Adult Literacy Center and getting my high school diploma at age 22.
It was an honor helping you achieve your greatness. Now you're helping others achieve theirs. It inspires me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Find free and supportive adult education centers near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Every day, we rise, challenging ourselves to work for what we believe in. At U.S. Border Patrol, protecting our borders is more than a job. It's a calling. Agents answer the call, working together to keep our country and communities safe. If you're ready for a new mission, join U.S. Border Patrol and go beyond. Learn more at cbp.gov/careers/Border Patrol.
The Ref Radio Sports Network is powered statewide by the insurance adjusters at Brown O'Haver. Fire, wind, theft, or tornado, we can help. Call 405-735-5510. Live from the Buffalo Wild Wings Studios, it's time to get locked in to the best Sooner recruiting and football news with Tyler McComas and Parker Thune.
You better lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up.
Hit the guys up on the Riverwind Casino call-in line at 405-329-9000. Text the show on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line at 405-651-3439.
Do it! Just do it!
Now, with Locked In, here's Tyler McComas and Parker Thune.
Man, I really hate starting the show with bad news. It's like my least favorite thing to do. Hey, welcome in. Here's some crap news to throw on you for the first segment of the show.
Michael Fasusi committed to Texas?
No, that's not. That's 8 days away, okay, from that whole day. Can we let that still be 8 days out? No, I do have some good news today, including Amarian Robinson. You're going to want to tune in for that. Big news there. But what we feared is true. Jaden Gibson will miss the entirety of the 2024 season. Had an injury in training camp, looked serious from the get-go, thought that this would probably be the case. I don't think that was shocking news when Brent Venables revealed that about an hour ago, but still stinks, man. Jaden Gibson, now for the year.
Yeah, sucks especially because, he's such a likable guy and has become a fan favorite these last couple seasons at the University of Oklahoma. Well, I should say this last season or so. 2022, he was in the doghouse for Brent Venables and for a large portion of this fan base. But 2023, man, he emerged in a big way on the field. Certainly reversed the perception amongst the fan base because as we've talked about, last April in the spring game when he dropped those 2 passes, including the last play of the game that cost the offensive victory in the spring game, there were plenty of folks on the message boards going, okay, send him back to South Florida. Don't want him here anymore. And then the 2023 season that he had was a memorable one. Only 14 catches, but it felt like every one of those 14 catches really counted and meant something to that team and the season that they had collectively in 2023. And by all accounts, he was having such a great offseason, man.
Yep.
Brent Venables talked him up. Joe John Finley talked him up. Seth Luttrell talked him up. And now, even before it really gets off the ground, it is over for Jaden Gibson.
Yeah, it's a bummer. I thought he was going to be wide receiver 3. You mentioned those 14 catches. I feel like all 14 catches made it on SportsCenter last year, including the first game of the season last year where he had a top 5 play on like the week 1 of opening college football Saturday. So what you got to hope now is that he has a speedy recovery. He's back for 2025 training camp. He's the guy that he was pre-injury and looked poised to have a very big year, because if we want to take a peek ahead a bit, I think Deion Burks will probably be in the NFL next year. Like, there will be some pieces to replace off of this wide receiver core that we feel good about. So Jaden Gibson will have an opportunity next year, if he's back to 100%, to be kind of back in that same spot where he was. It's not a given, because we've seen other players right now with so much as much depth as they've acquired at certain positions, especially wide receiver. It's not a given that someone gets hurt and they just get their spot immediately back. Look at Andrew Anthony. But I do think in a year's time, if he's ready to go, if he's fully healthy, we'll probably be saying, and hopefully saying, the same things about Jaden Gibson in a year's time as we were just a few weeks ago, which is, watch out for him. He could really be the breakthrough player on offense.
And I tell you, man, another guy that, and we just talked to Brent Venables. I was just over on campus, on the practice field, speaking with the head ball coach at his media conference following practice today. Left not half an hour ago. And one of the guys that Brent Venables really, really talked up and said that a guy that's made some strides, especially since Jaden Gibson's injury, and it's the guy that I think immediately everybody reverted to and said, okay, that probably creates more opportunity for him, was J.J. Hester. Mm-hmm. He talked up J.J. Hester, and he specifically referenced, unprompted, he said, look, the only thing that's held J.J. Hester back since he's been here is injuries. He said he had a broken foot twice.
Jeez.
So the only thing that has kept J.J. Hester from making a productive dent at Oklahoma is injury. And so we don't even really have an adequate frame of reference for what he is, what he can be in this offense. So I think whereas you might have been considering Jaden Gibson the big wild card, the big X factor in that receiving room in 2024, maybe that mantle gets passed to J.J. Hester at this point.
50-year-old mistake on the text line, which is still one of my favorite texter names out there. 50-year-old mistake says, what a tough, hard-nosed player. Hate it for Gibson, was looking forward to seeing him this year. Patrick says Jason White had 2 blown-out knees and 1 Heisman, so anything is possible. He did have to change the way that he played the position after those 2 blown knees. But, Patrick, I will hear the point that, yes, Jason White had to go through a lot of adversity in his OU career, and he came out of Heisman winner, so fair enough.
To that point, there was a guy that co-hosted The Rush yesterday that blew out his knee 3 times, and despite it all, he came back as a 6th-year senior and made one of the most memorable plays in one of the most memorable games of the 21st century for the University of Oklahoma.
918, Acre Taker, 918. Really sucks for Jaden Gibson. Feel for the kid, but this is Oklahoma. Next man up. Boomer. Yeah, like all of a sudden you feel not bad or terrible about the depth at wide receiver. It's just, all right, maybe no more injuries at that spot will be ideal. I still think OU is not only going to be okay at wide receiver, I still think OU is going to be very good at wide receiver if 2 things happen, maybe if only one thing happens. Nick Anderson is who we think he's going to be this year, and Deion Burks is who we think he's going to be this year. Like, as good as I think Deion Burks is, if Deion Burks is healthy, he's all good, there's no issues there this season, then I think OU will be just fine at wide receiver. And if you pair that with Nick Anderson, you're going to be hard-pressed to find a better 1-2 at wide receiver than those 2.
I mean, let's be frank here, Tyler. Again, not to downplay or diminish the loss of Jaden Gibson, but there's certainly a world in which Jaden Gibson only catches 14 more passes in the 2024 season.
Yeah.
And we're still talking about Oklahoma's wide receiver room as one of the absolute premier units in the country because of the production that we expect from a presumably healthy Nick Anderson and a presumably healthy Deion Burks, as well as a presumably healthy Andrell Anthony as well.
So that was one of the big takeaways from Brent's, 20-minute availability. I did see that he's talking about the defensive ends. Danny Okoye, the true freshman, did get mentioned there. What are one or two things that really stood out from what BV said over 20 minutes earlier this afternoon?
Again, the J.J. Hester thing, that was one of my key takeaways walking away was, okay, like BV's got some belief in J.J. Hester. This isn't just empty talk. This isn't just assumptions that people have. No, BV himself thinks J.J. Hester can make a dent. He also said Jaden Gibson's injury is really the only injury that the Sooners are dealing with. I feel like I've used this phrase a lot this week. There are guys who are hurt, not injured. Taylor Tatum is hurt. Nick Anderson, hurt. Troy Everett, hurt. But guess what?
Back.
Not injured. He was practicing today.
Back.
How about that? Does that make you feel a little bit better about the offensive line? Knowing that Troy Everett is – and the word had been he was ahead of schedule, but I will freely admit I did not anticipate seeing him in full pads going through reps with the offensive line.
It does make me feel better. Not that I think he's a first-team All-SEC guy, but the more depth, the better right now for this offensive line. I think anyone that's back from last year, available from last year, certainly helps. And not just now. Think back to SEC Media Day, which was, a month ago, I think? One of my biggest takeaways from OU Day, that Tuesday at SEC Media Day, was that Troy Everett was ahead of schedule when Brent Venables said that before. So it's been – I felt good about that for about a month now. Do I think he starts? I don't think today I would say that he starts, but you're going to have to play more than 5 on the offensive line this year.
So.
That's going to have to happen. And I think OU's going to put out a solid 5 in game 1. What does that next 5 look like? And I feel a lot better about that next 5 if Troy Everett's available and healthy.
Well, and if he is back to practicing in some capacity, even if it's limited, which I would assume it is at this point, I would assume he starts out limited and works back to full speed. But with where he's at right now, I don't know about his availability for August 30th, Tyler, but with 3 relatively soft non-conference opponents on the slate, 3 very beatable teams that you should defeat by double digits. It's really more about who's available, who's going to be ready, who's going to be full tilt when September 21st rolls around, and you have to start SEC play. With where Troy Everett's at right now, I would think he is full tilt by September 21st.
Early Boomer says, Gentry Williams, ? Gentry Williams back today at practice, which is a very good sign. Well, speaking of Gentry, and not that this means that he's had a bad camp or anything like that, but did Brent say that Kenai Walker has been the most consistent corner that they've had so far in training camp?
I didn't want to mention that because that could very easily be misconstrued.
Yeah?
Ugh. You can hear that, and that can instantly – and I imagine this is how it is for some people. You hear that, and you're like, oh, no. Kenai Walker is the most consistent cornerback OU has? Because, let's call a spade here. Kenai Walker was not very good last year. Woody Washington, when healthy, has been great at times. Gentry Williams, when healthy, has been great at times. But in tying that whole conversation together, Brent Venables did acknowledge that, Gentry's working through some things injury-wise with that shoulder, and Woody Washington, the plan is for him to bounce around, even though he's still primarily going to play corner. There is the potential that he could get looks at safety or cheetah. But another guy he brought up, and Caleb Kelly brought him up yesterday. Heard a lot of love for him behind the scenes, and he's a guy that I'm starting to think you're going to see him quite a bit this fall, is Eli Bowman.
Yep. There's been buzz for Eli, but that didn't start yesterday. That's been going on for Eli Bowen. So look, whatever Brent said about Kenai Walker today, and again, players are allowed to get better from a year ago.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Last time I checked,
Kenai Walker being the most consistent cornerback, in Brent Venables' words, could mean that Kenai Walker has gotten better rather than meaning everyone sucks.
I've got some concerns with this team, and I feel like we've shared them this offseason. I'm in a good place with corner as long as, Gentry Williams is healthy and available. I think that they're going to have 2 good starters, and I think that they're going to have some depth there. So corner's not one of my major question marks on this team. So, regardless of what was said about Kenai Walker, I still feel good about Woody Washington, Gentry Williams, and you're mentioning Eli Bowen. I think there's a lot to be excited about as well as some other players too. All right, 405-651-3439 is the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. Rivals has updated the top 250, and oh boy, do we have some movers into the top 100, into the top 50. OU has a new highest-ranked player in this recruiting class. Who is it? We'll tell you who it is coming up next right here on The Ref.
Bleed Crimson? Love great Sooner talk? Join the Ref Army by downloading our free app. Toby and TJ, Plank and Josh, Steelman and Thune, and Teddy and Tyler. We have the Sooner experts. The Ref is home to Sooner fans worldwide.
Beats and Bites is back at Riverwind and better than ever.
Featuring food trucks, live music, and so much more. With the hottest acts this summer, like Dylan Scott.
I'm just out here living. Yeah, that's my girl in the passenger seat. Windows down, dancing around.
And Connor Smith, September 1st.
Get your tickets online or at the box office for only $10.
There are trucks, then there's the truck. GMC Sierra, with available features like the V8 engine, the ultimate luxury interior, and of course, the available world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra, not just any truck, the truck. GMC's continued commitment to professional-grade engineering is on full display at your Oklahoma GMC dealers. Come take a test drive today and see for yourself. We are professional-grade GMC.
A happy place comes in many colors. One that leaves you feeling refreshed. Something that gets you all fired up. Or gives you the space to chill. Whatever your color, bring happiness home with CertaPro Painters and make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Get started today at CertaPro.com. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Do you like to stand out in a crowd while wearing the best in OU apparel? The Jimmy Austin Pro Shop carries the best brands you can wear to work or even dress up events. Lines such as Lululemon, Travis Mathew, FootJoy, Greg Norman, Grayson, or Turtleson with the OU and Jimmy Austin logo are sure to catch everyone's eye. You don't have to be a golfer to shop at Jimmy Austin. They also do corporate special orders for you and your company. Call them today, 405-325-6716, or visit theougolfclub.com for more information.
The Mont invites you to come by and enjoy our high-quality food and drinks in our historic atmosphere. The Mont has won numerous awards, including Best Restaurant in Norman, Best Appetizer for our great queso, Best Exotic Drink for the original swirl, the Best Patio Dining for our beautifully landscaped patio. Come see the Town Tavern OU football scoreboards dating back to 1947. We'll see you at the Mont on the corner of Boyd and Classen, or call us at 329-3330.
Hi, this is Lisa Talley, broker and owner of Aria Real Estate Group. Aria Real Estate Group is Norman's premier full-service commercial and residential real estate brokerage and leasing and management firm. With our team of real estate agents, specialized property managers, and in-house maintenance team, Aria is here for you in every capacity. Whether you're a seller, a buyer, an investor, or a renter, we can help. Please explore our website at ariagroupok.com. Aria Real Estate Group, the gold standard of real estate.
Ready for summer? Let Signature Custom Pools help you create your perfect poolside paradise. Professional design expertise, quality construction, and personal customer service, they can bring paradise to your backyard. Call Signature Custom Pools for a free consultation at 405-898-9098 or signaturecustompools.com today. Visit the Signature Pool and Patio Showroom on Main Street for your pool, spa, grill supplies, free water testing, and professional pool service from Signature Pool and Patio in Norman.
Are you looking for a luxury apartment for rent in Norman? The Falls at Brookhaven offers stunning 2- and 3-bedroom spacious floor plans with large walk-in closets, washer and dryer hookup, and a fabulous kitchen in a well-maintained, calm environment. From plush carpet to sleek stainless steel appliances to a pool, 24-hour fitness, and 2 dog parks, the Falls at Brookhaven has it all. Call our locally owned and operated community at 405-701-8233 or go online to thefallsatbrookhaven.com for a free tour and see what living in luxury is like.
Locked in with McComas and Thune, live on the Ref. We are the Homeless Sooner fans. Tyler McComas, Parker Thune, and the Ref Army, both on the KREF app and KREF Sports on YouTube Live. What's up, listening worldwide? St. Louis, Missouri is tuned in today via the free KREF app. Littlefield, Texas is tuned in. Atlanta, Georgia. Tucson, Arizona. Liberty Lake, Washington. Raymond, Maine. And Pauls Valley all tuned in via the free KREF app. Just search KREF in the App Store. And our Ref Army Locator is brought to you by Affordable Door Company, where they compromise on the price but not on the quality. Visit them online at affordabledoor.net or call 405-635-9499. Affordable Door Company, proud garage door sponsor of the Sooners and the Ref. We have a new number one for OU in the 2025 class. Welcome to the show, Amarian Robinson. Safety from the state of Arkansas, number one player in Arkansas. He is up 87 spots. 87 spots in the most recent Rivals 250 rating. He is a top 40 player nationally. He is all the way up to the number 34 overall player in the 2025 class.
And the number 3 safety in the country, trailing only Oregon commit Trey McNutt, who is a 5-star, and Miami commit Hilton Stubbs, who is also a 5-star, and a USC decommit. So we revel in Mule Shoes misery, as always. But, yeah, man, Amarian Robinson, the folks with the say in the rankings process at Rivals love him some Amarian Robinson. And it's not difficult to see why if you were in attendance at the Rivals 5-star last month in Jacksonville, because Amarian Robinson tore it up. He was in lockdown mode, one defensive back MVP, and very much fits the mold, Tyler, of a guy that's going to be a dominant safety at the next level. He looks so much, and I think is so reminiscent of both Billy Bowman and Peyton Bowen, because he's one of those smaller-bodied safeties. He's probably a little bit south of 6 feet, but he's muscular. He's very quick and agile on his feet, aggressive, but not overly aggressive, and just knows how to play the ball, man. Knows how to play a receiver, knows how to play the ball. All of the instinctual aspects of playing the position come very naturally to Amarian Robinson. And, you know, there are some instances where I just got to stand on the table for a guy and yell, shout into the void, he's not a 3-star.
This is it? Yeah?
I found myself doing that last year with Michael Hawkins, with Eli Bowen, with Michael Boganowski. That kid might crack the 2 deep week 1. I'm just like, Boganowski.
He's a dude, man.
He's been impressive. He has been impressive on the practice field. Now, Amarian Robinson, if you look at where he is rated across the industry, again, Rivals has him as a high 4-star, number 34 overall in the nation. The top 32 dudes in a class are 5 stars.
That's what I'm saying.
Tyler.
He's like borderline 5-star now.
He is verging on that category. ESPN has him as a 4-star 80 and the number 26 safety in the nation. Both On3 and 24/7 Sports have him as a 3-star 88.
Jeez.
Folks, I'm going to shout it into the void. Amarian Robinson is not a 3-star.
No, he is a top 35 player nationally right now, according to Rivals, up 87 spots. In total, OU has 8 in the Rivals top 250. Cortez Mills down 12 spots to number 81. Trent Wilson up 46 spots to 84. So there's your 3 in the top 100. But nice to see Trent Wilson, your big defensive line commits in the top 100.
Just waiting for that Ryan Foje bump.
Yeah.
One of these days, hopefully. That'd be great.
Elijah Thomas down 3 spots to 130. Marcus Harris down 6 to 153. Kevin Sperry up 3 to 162. Tristan Haynes down 17 to 225. Darius Afalava down 11 to 240. So 8 total in the top 250. OU currently with 3 players in the top one, really in the top 85 if you want to look at it that way. Amarian Robinson at 34, Cortez Mills at 81, Trent Wilson at 84. Michael Fasusi, who will commit 1 week from today, or 1 week from tomorrow, I should say, is down 1 spot to number 11. But he's still a 5-star. He's still really good. And you should really, really hope that OU beats out Texas for Michael Fasusi coming up in 8 days. Andrew Babalola up 23 spots to number 62. So if you get either of those two guys, there's another top 100 player for you.
John and Ada asks, so Amarian Robinson passed that other dude we were after? No, he did not pass Jonah Williams. Jonah Williams is sitting at number 20. Amarian Robinson, again, is at number 34. However, Jonah Williams has been recategorized positionally. He is no longer regarded as a safety, but as an outside linebacker.
Sam and Edmond, can't believe I came back from the beach to hear Hawkins starting over JFA nonsense. I'm not for cancel culture, but I'll make an exception for whoever started that BS. Can we at least let the season start before we lose our collective minds? Yeah, man, jeez. I mean, we're a bit triggered here if we're letting one scrimmage where the starting quarterback didn't have, 3 of his top 5 targets, and that's, fully available? What'd you think was going to happen there? Guys, this defense is good. This defense is really good, and they're not holding back. They're coming after it, and this offensive line is still trying to gel and figure itself out. JFA didn't have his top receivers. I'm not telling you that, he's never going to make a mistake, or I'm not trying to tell you that mistakes won't happen during the season. Mistakes will happen for Jackson Arnold during the season, but it was their first scrimmage in training camp. I think it's a little bit too early to be talking about a quarterback controversy 17 days out from the opener.
Yes, let's please not do that. That is a sign of boredom, is what that is. When we are manufacturing storylines for the sake of content, it means, A, you're not plugged in enough to know what's actually going on and what is actually making waves within the program, and B, you're just engagement farming. That's what it amounts to. Two things can be true and are true, Tyler. Yes, Michael Hawkins has been really good and really consistent, really, really sharp. He is outpacing what the expectations were for him as a true freshman, certainly. Do not want to take that away from him. He has been awesome. He has really opened some eyes, and make no mistake, when his time comes, whenever that may be, he's going to be ready. But while that is true, it is also true that the job belongs to Jackson Arnold, and he's going to have to give it away. He's going to have to give it away on a Saturday, not on the practice field either.
You don't take a guy to SEC Media Day along with 2 other players that have been with the program for a long time. You don't take your starting quarterback to SEC Media Day for it to be like, all right, one bad scrimmage. We got a true quarterback controversy on our hands. Jackson Arnold will be the starter in 17 days when OU plays Temple. And you're right. If he was to at all lose that or it becomes a close race, that's going to be dictated on Saturday during the season.
Look, I planted my flag in the Michael Hawkins stamp of approval camp back in October of 2021. He had 1 scholarship offer at the time. I am legitimately the OG of the Michael Hawkins hype train. But even I am going to sit here and tell you there is a 0% chance that Michael Hawkins is starting week 1. Jackson Arnold is getting that start. I don't care if he throws 20 picks between now and then, and Michael Hawkins throws 30 touchdowns on the practice field, especially with the expectations that have been set for Jackson Arnold, the reality that you let Dylan Gabriel walk in order to hand the reins of the program to Jackson Arnold. Again, he's going to have to give the job away on a Saturday in order for Michael Hawkins to get that call from the bullpen.
The Waffler says tomorrow Ian Boyd will be reporting that we have a quarterback controversy. I have no doubt that I will. I'll see that tomorrow. J News says, "What if JFA leads the country in scrimmage interceptions?" 2 laughing face emojis there. Leads the country in scrimmage intercept. I don't know. Is Iowa leading the country on scrimmage incompletions? I guess Iowa had an open practice last week, and boy, they had a tough go of it offensively. Surprise, surprise, right? Squirrel from Norman says, considering JFA may be a bit of a gunslinger, 6 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, we will be fine. 405, the same people calling for a quarterback change are the same people who would panic if their boss wanted to fire them after one bad day at work. And again, it's not like the situation around Jackson Arnold was extremely favorable. I mean, he's got to make better decisions, but we said that the last time we saw him in an actual game, in an Alamo Bowl. He's going to have to make better decisions. He's going to have to make quicker decisions as well. But at the same time, man, the situation around him has got to be favorable. And if he's got an offensive line in front of him that's trying to figure it out, and he doesn't have much time to throw, and he's not throwing to who I think will be one of the best receivers in the SEC, I don't care who you throw back there. You throw out Michael Hawkins in that situation, and it's still going to be less than favorable. So it's all good, guys. Just calm down. Defense going to be strong.
Yes,
it's good.
A 405 listener chimed in with the correct text, which is, we talking about practice.
I know. We need AI in studio.
I'm surprised it has taken this long for somebody to text that in.
Chase in Orange County says BBB, triple Bs, bring back booty. Now, he's going to light up Texas in like week 2. No, that's week 3. Week 3, yeah. Texas is going to lose to Michigan, and then they're going to lose to Booty in week 3 at home. That's what's happening. 2-star Lost City Sooner. He's learning if you're not failing in practice, practice is too easy. 3-star text right there. Wow, Lost City Sooners trying to get that extra star.
Yeah, and look, there have been guys for whom practice was just kind of too easy over the years. Caleb Williams was one of those guys. Like, I'll freely admit that. Caleb Williams was lights out on the practice field from the jump at Oklahoma, and that's part of the reason why there was a serious quarterback controversy even before the season began, even though very similarly the job was always Rattler's until he gave it away on a Saturday in the fall. But, I mean, you heard Caleb Kelly say it yesterday on the airwaves. Even Caleb Williams threw picks in practice. It is something no quarterback is immune to.
All right, 405-651-3439, Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. 1-star Chunky Chuck is really enjoying the chat on YouTube Live. He's saying, interacting on the chat is delightful because it's a chance to talk with personalities I only know through text. What a good idea. Yeah, it is a good idea.
I love Chuck's text from yesterday. I missed it until now.
To start fighting.
But he said, I'm currently composing a cover of a popular VeggieTales song with my cousin before he leaves for college.
Put that on the internet, Chuck,
I'm
please.
so glad that Chonky Chuck and I, that our circles overlap within the realm of VeggieTales subculture. I'm overjoyed.
You a big Bob the Tomato fan?
That's what I grew up on.
Larry
right there.
the Cucumber?
Oh, yeah,
got
that's my early childhood.
All right, we'll get back to the text line coming up next. More recruiting, more OU training camp as well, right here on the Ref.
The word is spreading, and the Ref Army is growing. Keep telling your friends and family that there's only one station for true Sooner fans, and that's the Ref Radio Sports Network, and worldwide on the KREF app.
Are you looking for a better way to sell farm, construction, or fleet equipment? Purple Wave Auction takes the hassle out of selling heavy equipment. Our experienced auction professionals make the entire process easy and will market each asset not just to our enormous equipment buying community, but specifically to the right bidders who are eager to purchase your specific assets. We'll handle the paperwork and payments so you can get back to running your business. Join the growing list of happy sellers who don't just sell but succeed with Purple Wave Auction. Straight, simple, sold.
The Gimme Zone is back in 2024. Join Golf Digest panelist Brian Vineyard and myself, Josh Elmer, every Saturday morning from 8 to 10 a.m. as we break down and dissect everything in the world of golf right here on the Ref and the KREF app. Hear from great guests and from the game's biggest stars as we spend every moving day with you. From February at Pebble Beach through the majors to the Tour Championship in September, the number one choice for golf coverage in the state of Oklahoma, it's right here on the Ref.
What are you waiting for? If you're anything like me, that question keeps you up at night. So don't wait for someone else's green light. Do the things you love right now at Moore Norman Tech. We'll get you out of the classroom and into the real world with hands-on experience in whatever feeds your fire. So get after it. Oklahoma needs more doers, and doers don't wait. Moore Norman Tech, powered by Oklahoma Career Tech.
Hey Sooner fans, Kinsey Hansen here to tell you about my friends at the Affordable Door Company. Their fast, reliable, and professional staff have been serving the OKC Metro for over 28 years. Affordable Door Company is your one-stop shop for residential and commercial garage door service and replacement. Call them and tell them you want the ultimate maintenance for your garage door. You don't want to be stuck in your garage at game time, so give them a call at 405-635-9499 or visit them online at affordabledoor.net. You can't afford not to call Affordable Door Company, proud garage door sponsor of the Sooners.
Visit Norman encourages you to shop local in Norman this summer. Visit Cayman's on Main Street, your one-stop shopping for men's and women's clothing, accessories, designer jewelry, cosmetics, and home decor. Featuring Peter Millar, Johnny O, Rag & Bone, John Hardy, and much more at Cayman's. For fresh, delicious Italian dining, visit Gabarino's Homestyle Italian. For lunch, dinner, or takeaway, you are guaranteed to get amazing meals from scratch family recipes at Gabarino's. Hit the driving range or play around at the Westwood Golf Course. It's easy to book a tee time online, pick up a bucket of balls, or enjoy the delicious Turn Grill at Westwood Golf Course. When you shop local, you are supporting businesses that give back to community events, schools, sports, and local nonprofits. However you enjoy summer in Norman, remember to eat, shop, and play local.
What do you do when the unexpected happens? Who do you turn to? Primrose Funeral Service in Norman will be by your side to help manage the many details surrounding your loved one's final arrangement. A funeral represents an opportunity for family and friends to reflect on the life of their loved one and to honor the memory of their life. Our compassionate staff has been providing the highest quality care for over 80 years. Please contact Primrose Funeral Service at 405-321-6000 or visit us online at primrosefuneralservice.com.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
Locked in with McComas and Thune. Live on the ref. We are the home of Sooner fans. Tyler McComas, Parker Thune. Georgia Tech got a 5-star. For the first time in the modern recruiting era, Georgia Tech got a 5-star. Josh Petty. Congrats to the Yellow Jackets.
What we've learned is that if you're the first to offer a kid, you can hang in that thing, regardless of what kind of sway you have or don't have as a program. For instance, we had Caleb Kelly on these airwaves yesterday.
And will today, by the way.
OU was his very first offer. He said he couldn't even point to Oklahoma on a map for a while there, but OU was his first offer, and they managed to beat out the field for a 5-star linebacker, which at the time, I mean, getting a 5-star linebacker is a feat in and of itself. Getting a 5-star linebacker to Oklahoma at that point in time, that was a tall task. So you're first at the table, that helps.
He couldn't point to Oklahoma on a map in high school. That's awesome. For some reason, that reminds me of Marshawn Lynch when he was coming out of Cal and he got drafted by the Buffalo Bills. He thought he said Buffalo, New York. So he thought, oh, it's New York City, essentially. He stepped off the plane. And he quickly found out that Buffalo is not New York City, and that was quite the rude awakening for Beast Mode.
The rude awakening? It feels like Buffalo is much more Marshawn Lynch's speed than New York City.
At the time, I guess he thought he was heading to the Big Apple there, at least somewhere close to it. Not so much. Texas had another injury at running back. Their backup running back, Christian Clark, was injured at practice earlier today. They do not know the severity. Did they move a linebacker over to running back?
They did. Darion Gillette. You may remember him from, I believe, the 2023 cycle. Oklahoma was a big player in his recruitment, but Texas ultimately won the battle. And then a wide receiver by the name of Ryan Niblett is working at running back too.
Yeah. 4-3-0 State of Texas. How big of a loss for Texas is Christian Clark? It's another running back, but I don't know if he was highly recruited and expected to contribute this year. I think their main two, Jaden Blue, Trey Wisner, those were going to be the main two after the injury to Cedric Baxter, and that's obviously still the case today. If anything happens to Jaden Blue or Trey Wisner, then they really get into a serious situation. But, Cedric Baxter is a big loss because he had a nice year last year behind Jonathan Brooks and really took over after that Jonathan Brooks injury. But for as good of numbers as Texas had offensively last year, you know where they were really bad? They were bad in the red zone, man. They were bad in short yardage situations. I wonder how big of a factor that is going to be for their red zone short yardage now that C.J. Baxter is gone for the year. Because that was not an offense that was good in tight spaces a year ago. Which, for all the hype on their offensive line and quarterback, sure is interesting that that's been the case for the past 2 years, but okay.
And we all remember how bad they were in the red zone a year ago because, of course, we witnessed Texas fail to move the ball 36 inches on 1st and goal in the Cotton Bowl. By the way, I was looking back at it because it made me curious. We were having the conversation about the first offer and what it means to a kid. And I started wondering how many commits in Oklahoma's 2025 class were they first to offer. So off the top of my head, here we go. They were not first to offer Grayson Harris. Emmett Jones was the first to offer Grayson Harris. At the time, he was at Kansas. So I'm counting that one. They were the first to offer Elijah Thomas, Trinae Washington, Alex Shieldknight, Ryan Foje, Manny Choice, and C.J. Nixon. So
pretty good.
7 of your commits were guys that – and I may not be 100% correct on that. Maybe Oklahoma State offered Elijah Thomas before OU did. But for all intents and purposes, that was the first big-time offer for those guys. If it wasn't the absolute first offer, it was the first big-time offer for all those guys. So what I respect about that is that this staff is willing to go out and make their own evals. They're not sitting on their hands waiting for Kansas State and – Nebraska and Baylor and all those programs that are traditionally early to the table with dudes to make the evals for them.
Are you willing to count a first offer after a decommitment from someone? Because Gerald McCoy was sure responded to 4-star defensive lineman Christian Garrett decommitting from Georgia. I love it when Gerald McCoy gets involved on social media and recruiting. And heck, hey, he was after David Stone last year, and that one sure worked out. But Georgia had a 4-star defensive lineman. They got a ton of D linemen. But that was a decommit that happens, on Sunday? Gerald McCoy says, "Say, kid, I don't know where you plan on going, but I know a school in Norman who about to take over the SEC that would love to have you. One visit, and I guarantee you will love what you see." GK just doing work out there, man. Just trying to make it happen on the defensive line. That's his position of expertise there.
Yeah, seems like Christian Garrett, unfortunately, is going to go to Georgia Tech as well, which I don't know if they came into some money or what.
Dang, okay. Georgia Tech making a move, huh?
The Ramblin' Wreck.
Joe in Tulsa with a bit of a lengthy text, but I'll read it.
Okay.
Block anyone saying Hawkins should start. He might be good one day, but will never be what JFA is. There is more to a quarterback than scrambling or strongest arm. Brady proved that. We need a quarterback that's going 80 yards with no timeouts in a minute 15. JFA is a former Elite 11 winner and works hard unlike Rattler. Ooh, Rattler just taking a shot there by Joe. Interceptions, it's going to happen if you are aggressive. I'm fine with a few. I love a Favre mentality, hopefully just on the field, not off the field. And he is going against multiple All-Americans in the secondary and backers that know our offense and are jumping routes. Can't stand listening to dumb OU fans that don't know ball. If Hawkins starts more than 3 games this year for whatever reason, we will have a losing record.
Agree with almost all of that text. The one thing I disagree with, Joe in Tulsa, is where you said he will never be what JFA is. I don't think it's a hot take to say that Michael Hawkins has a higher ceiling long-term than Jackson Arnold because of the athleticism and because of the true dual threat ability, the ways that he can hurt you with his legs. Now, whether he realizes that ceiling or not is an entirely different conversation. But Hawkins is every bit as capable of being the quarterback that Jackson Arnold is in the long run. Whether he gets there, that's up to him. And that's, frankly, up to not only him but the coaching staff at the University of Oklahoma that's pouring into him.
Would you agree that you would also hope that JFA doesn't take some of the cell phone pictures that Brett Favre took during his NFL career? Would you hope that that was the case?
Yeah, that and the whole what was it 2022? It was a couple of years ago where he had the fraud case
at Southern
where
Miss.
He was embezzling money
Yeah.
for a new facility at Southern Miss. Yeah, let's stray away from the true I guess let's stray away from the character comparisons to Brett Favre. Football comparisons, yes. Character comparisons, please no.
Cherokee Sooner, my first D1 listening offer was from the Sports Animal. I was happy to have a local sports talk station, but something just never felt right. Then I was introduced to KREF. I hopped in the transfer portal without a second thought and never looked back. Thank you for that, Cherokee Sooner. That was a big flip for us, and you've never looked back since then. I appreciate that.
A 580 listener says, my brother in Christ, 17 days out, and we are skydiving to conclusions over one
We're back.
rough practice.
We are back. Hey, don't let Jackson Arnold throw 3 touchdowns with no interceptions in the second scrimmage. What are we going to do then?
Yeah, we're all going to
11-1. Here we come.
Yeah, then we're going to whine about how the defense suddenly
Hell,
sucks.
with that defense,
Well,
if Arnold can be that good, we could go 11-1, maybe 12-0.
Yeah, Arnold throws 4 touchdowns in the next scrimmage, and he'll be, well, no wonder Brent said Kanal Walker has been the best cornerback. The Waffler asks, what does Hawkins run the 40 in, Parker?
Sounds like 4-1 with everyone how they're talking.
He is sub 4-4. Yes, he is very fast.
Greg from Lawton, so you're saying Georgia Tech got a chance at the playoffs? Giving me a chance at one of the 4 gridiron prizes? Maybe. Well, they're 5 stars, not going to be able to play this year. But next year, Greg, 2 years from now, you're going to want to get Georgia Tech because apparently they got all this talent coming in the crap ACC. 405-651-3439 is the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. One final segment of Locked In. We'll get to more OU recruiting, more OU training camp right here on the Ref.
Through the dead of winter, to the dawn of spring, through the dog days of summer, and the kickoff of fall, no one covers Sooner football like we do. The Ref is SEC ready. Are you?
Fowler Automotive is proud to be a part of your community, where our passion and values lie far beyond the showroom. We believe that families, sports, art, and culture are at the heart of every thriving community, and it's important to us that we help build the communities that our dealerships call home. Stop by any of our 6 Oklahoma dealerships to see the Fowler standard hard at work. We pride ourselves on being friendly, helpful, honest, and fair. This is what drives us every day. Fowler Automotive, a proud partner of OU Athletics.
Is full of anchors, meant to keep you in place. But the good news is that it's also full of things that remind you not to let them. So every time you raise a Pacifico, let it be a reminder to live life anchors up.
Beats and Bites is back at Riverwind and better than ever.
Featuring food trucks, live music, and so much more. With the hottest acts this summer, like Dylan Scott.
I'm just out here living. Yeah, that's my girl in the passenger seat. Windows down, dancing around.
And Connor Smith, September 1st.
Get your tickets online or at the box office for only $10.
The sights, the sounds, the tailgates, the traditions. There's only one Oklahoma, and now it just means more. More out of your seat, more top of your lungs, more everything you've got. Lock in your seats for the Sooners' inaugural SEC season and secure your spot for one more unforgettable experience at the Palace on the Prairie. Reserve your tickets today at Soonersports.com.
There are many ways to celebrate a life. For over 80 years, Primrose Funeral Service in Norman has been providing comfort and guidance to families in memorial planning. Pre-arranging a memorial is the best way for families to take it slow, talk in a calm, compassionate environment away from the stress and sadness of loss. Primrose Funeral Services offers prepaid plans that protect your loved ones from hard financial decisions at a difficult time. Contact Primrose Funeral Service at 405-321-6000 or visit them at primrosefuneralservice.com.
When I grow up, I want to be a teacher.
Because when I'm a teacher, I can help kids to learn and chase their dreams.
PI, a defect of the immune system, affects millions of children. Early and accurate diagnosis and treatment give children like Sam a chance to achieve their dreams.
It takes a lot of caring teachers to make school fun. It took a lot of caring people to keep my dream alive. And now, because of them, I can be head of the class.
For more information, visit the Jeffrey Modell Foundation at info4pi.org.
Serving in Afghanistan, I was shot in the head by sniper fire. I was given a 5% chance to live. I'm Adam Alexander, and I'm a veteran. Today, I visit classrooms and share my story. I tell kids that with a little help and a lot of work that you can overcome any challenge.
DAV helps veterans like Adam get the benefits they've earned. They help more than 1 million veterans every year.
My victory is being there for the next generation.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Tired of your current living situation? Now is the best time to make a move. Interest rates are dropping, and Home Creations is offering the best financing around with rates as low as 3.75%. This will save you hundreds per month on your brand new Home Creations home. Live like a champion today by calling Holly at 405-364-9999 for full details.
364-9999 means Home Creations.
APR 6.411%.
My daughter was diagnosed with a rare malignant rhabdoid tumor on the spine. They sent her straight to St. Jude. My hope was gone. But when you get there, everyone's like, hey, we're not going to give up. And when you see other people not giving up on your child, that makes all the difference in the world. When I found out I didn't have to pay, I was just grateful they saved my baby's life.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Did you know that about 23% of Oklahoma's river and stream miles are impaired by bacteria? Pet waste can pollute surface and drinking waters like Lake Thunderbird by contributing harmful levels of bacteria. Be sure to pick up after your furry friend when you're out and about. We drink our storm water, so please do your part to help protect it. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
Dorsey Jones, Buick GMC in El Reno, bringing you this hour of Locked In with McCombs and Thune. Dorsey Jones is family owned and operated, established in 2020, but many of their employees have been there for more than 20 years. They sell Buicks and GMCs, which are some of the best trucks and SUVs on the road. Dorsey Jones, Buick GMC in El Reno. We'll catch up with Bob Stoops next hour, live from Los Angeles. He got to be in person there at SoFi Stadium on Sunday to watch Drake Stoops have 3 receptions in his first preseason game. I believe they play the Chargers coming up in preseason game number 2. He'll be at that one. And then Caleb Kelly is back in studio. He's sitting about 2 feet away from me right now, actually. So he's all ready to go. It's going to be a fun afternoon. Talking a whole lot of college football on the Rush. Did you see that Jim Harbaugh now will not be the honorary captain for Michigan's season opener this year?
They shut that down.
After like 3 days,
I was
they
looking
shut it
forward to
down.
the chaos.
Jim Harbaugh will no longer be the honorary captain for the August 31st game versus Fresno State. Harbaugh wants to stay, quote, in the foxhole with the Chargers instead of taking a deep, long bow. That's what Michigan head coach Sharon Moore said.
That's that's football coach terminology right there. In the foxhole. Hey, whatever. Okay, Sharon Moore. I would have liked to see Jim Harbaugh on the sidelines for that game. I like to imagine. At risk of inciting a bunch of political texts, my vision is Jim Harbaugh rousing the Ann Arbor crowd and doing the fight fist like Donald Trump.
2025 recruiting rankings. Ohio State, not only with the number 1 class, I guess Ohio State has the number 1 overall player in this recent Rivals update. Their quarterback
Tavian
commits.
St. Clair.
Yeah,
he's an impressive kid.
LSU's at 2, Bama at 3, Georgia at 4, Auburn at 5. So there's 4 SEC teams in the top 5. Notre Dame at 6, Miami at 7, and there's OU at 8, followed by A&M at 9 and Tennessee at 10. But that's awesome for Omarion Robinson, man, moving up 87 spots to the number 34 overall player. And I know they wanted Jonah Williams initially. That did not happen, but we brag about Brandon Hall's recruiting all the time, and to be able to pivot and just go get a top 35 player from out of state.
Brandon Hall
big time.
is a ridiculously good evaluator of talent, and there are a couple recent case studies that underscore that reality. The one I always go back to is the eval that he made of Caleb's mini-me, Michael Boganowski.
Yes.
The dude was playing jackbacker in Junction City, Kansas. He had like 4 FBS offers at that point. None of them were all that significant. And Brandon Hall somehow looks at that linebacker tape and says, yes, I want that guy at safety. And the early returns on Michael Boganowski since he got to Oklahoma, even before he's played a game, have been very, very strong. And then Omarion Robinson, man, Brandon Hall was one of the first coaches. I don't think he was the first, but he was one of the very first to reach out and offer Amarian Robinson, offered him in January 2023 after his sophomore season, and started building a relationship from there. And I will give my my coworker Brandon Drum some credit, because he was saying as early as January of this year, hey, watch out, everybody's caught up in the Jonah Williams hype, and understandably so, but Amarian Robinson might be the best safety in the country. And I know there's that feeling within the building at Oklahoma as well that he may be that good, and the rise in the rankings today helps solidify that standpoint at the very least. Doesn't quite validate it, but like if you didn't already get it before, if you didn't already see it before with Amarian Robinson, now I'd hope you see it.
One-star Chonky Chuck. I love the idea of letting Quinn Ewers win them games with his arm. If that happens, we're in for a Texas massacre. I am interested to see what their run game looks like now. Didn't think that C.J. Baxter would win the Heisman Trophy, but I did think that he was their best option at back, and they're in a situation now where they're an injury away at running back to Trey Wisner or Jaden Blue from really being in a tough situation. And if Quinn Ewers takes off running in Dallas this year, you know who he's going to be looking for, right? 22's not on the field, right? 22's not on the field, right? Oh, God, is 22 on the field? I remember last year.
This is a really good question on the text line from a listener down in Texas. Who gets a head coaching job first, Emmett Jones or Brandon Hall? Boy, that's going to be a drag race. The hope is that neither of those guys get a head coaching job in the immediate future, because you'd love to have both of them at Oklahoma for the long run. But let's be realistic with ourselves here. Both of those guys have sterling reputations as outstanding football minds and as dynamic recruiters and talent evaluators. Both those dudes will be head coaches in the future. How quickly? I don't know. Again, if you're a Sooner fan, you'd hope it's not for at least a few years, because you'd like to maximize what they can bring to this staff and this group at Oklahoma. But I don't figure it will be all that long before Emmett Jones and Brandon Hall are at the very least fielding head coaching offers.
I had this down. This has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but since we're up against it here, were you a big Omaha Storm Chasers fan when you lived up in Omaha?
Oh, man. See, they were the Omaha Royals until I was about 13 years old. They played at Rosenblatt Stadium, and then they opened that new facility, Werner Park, out in a cornfield in Papillion, and that's where they have played ball ever since. I've been to more than a few games out there. Yes, Storm Chasers games. Those were always fun to attend. You know, baseball games are fun to go to in person. I'm a baseball guy. I grew up that way. That was my primary sport growing up, but even I struggled to watch an entire baseball game on TV. But being at baseball games in person, especially minor league baseball games, when the focus of the folks involved with that operation is and kind of has to be on entertainment, you can have a real fun time at a minor league baseball.
Well, the Omaha Storm Chasers apparently have college football jokes.
Really?
Because Saturday they beat the Iowa Cubs 16-3, and their caption for the final score was "scored more than at Hawkeye football this season."
Oof. It's not saying much.
Iowa's not safe these days from anyone, including minor league baseball teams. Jeez, dude. Unbelievable. Kirk Ferentz, man. Got to score more than 15 points.
You think if not for nepotism, Kirk Ferentz would have made an appearance in the college football playoff by now? Because I do.
Defense has been pretty good up there for
the
for
defense
a while.
has been elite every single year, and nobody seems to grasp that, and I can't fault them for it because the offense is so atrocious year after year after year. But hey, Brian Ferentz is gone now, so maybe, just maybe, this is the year where things start to come together for Iowa.
Saw a graphic today, and I thought, whoa, I finally found one national media member picking OU to make the college football playoff. But it was some college football field using AP poll history, whatever that means, but they had OU as the 9 seed playing 8 seed Tennessee in the first round. Is that to suggest that Tennessee's had better AP poll history than OU? That can't be the case, because that would not be accurate. I don't know. Still haven't seen anyone pick him. That's fine. Roll in.
I ran out of royalty-free music, Tyler. We have to
There's
end
like
the show.
15 seconds long. All right, Caleb Kelly coming up. Bob Stoops coming up at 3:20. More college football coming up right here on the Ref. All right, man.
You're listening to the home of Sooner fans, KREF, Norman, Oklahoma, and streaming